What if one of the biggest stories of the 2026 World Cup doesn't come from Brazil, not from Argentina, not from France, but from a small nation at the edge of the world, a nation of just 5 million people, a nation where rugby dominates headlines, a nation most football fans rarely think about, New Zealand. For decades, they have lived in the shadows of football's giants, rarely discussed, rarely feared, rarely expected to achieve anything. But sometimes, football rewards those who are willing to dream. And in 2026, New Zealand may be arriving at the perfect moment. In 2010, New Zealand achieved something remarkable. They went undefeated at the World Cup. Think about that for a second. Undefeated. While giants were eliminated, New Zealand never lost. 3 matches, 3 draws. Against Slovakia, against Italy, against Paraguay. The defending world champions Italy could not beat them. Yet, despite remaining unbeaten, New Zealand still went home. It remains one of the strangest stories in World Cup history, but it also proved something important. New Zealand could compete. New Zealand could survive. And New Zealand could shock the world. The expansion of the World Cup changed everything. 48 teams. More opportunities. More dreams becoming reality. For Oceania nations, the path suddenly became much clearer, and New Zealand took advantage. Qualification was no longer a fantasy. It became an expectation. The All-Whites dominated regional competition, showing organization, discipline, patience, the foundations of a successful tournament team. For years, they had waited for a chance. Now, they finally had one. Every World Cup story needs heroes, and New Zealand has a few of its own. Chris Wood, the veteran striker, the leader, the goal scorer. After years in English football, Wood brings experience few players in Oceania can match. Then comes Liberato Cacace, quick, aggressive, fearless, a defender capable of changing games. Add talented young players, hungry to prove themselves. And suddenly, this team becomes very interesting. They may not have superstars, but they have something equally dangerous. Unity. Could New Zealand become the next one? They won't dominate possession. They won't have the biggest stars, but they don't need to. Tournament football rewards discipline, organization, belief, and New Zealand has all 3. If they survive the group stage, confidence could take over. Momentum could build. And suddenly, the impossible starts looking possible. Of course, reality remains difficult. The World Cup is unforgiving. One mistake can end everything. One bad match can destroy years of preparation. New Zealand still lacks the depth of football's giants. They still face stronger opponents, faster opponents, more experienced opponents. Yet, that has always been true. And somehow, New Zealand keeps finding ways to compete. Perhaps New Zealand won't win the World Cup. Perhaps they won't reach the semifinals. But maybe that's not the point. Because every World Cup needs dreamers. Teams willing to challenge the impossible. Teams willing to believe. And few nations understand that better than New Zealand. From the edge of the football world, they are coming once again, ready to surprise, ready to compete, ready to dream, The question is, could New Zealand become the biggest underdog story of World Cup 2026? New Zealand went undefeated at a World Cup once. Could they do something even bigger in 2026? Tell me your prediction in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and let's see who gets it right.